And thank you guys so much for joining. If you don't know me, I am Kiafa, and I am originally from Alabama in the US. I came here from Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for about 10 years before I moved here to Mexico. And I was a realtor there since 2019. And it's a funny situation because Miss Karina here, we are working together now. She actually asked me if I was interested in doing real estate here in Mexico, and I was like, "Of course, I'm already doing that now." So, Karina, I'll let you tell them a little bit about yourself as well.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kiafa, for being here and for being in the team. It's just amazing. So, yeah, I've been in the real. I'm Karina Gala. I've been in the real estate market for close to 2 decades already, and I'm the founder of House by the MX. And yeah, we're starting this podcast for solving all the questions that may arise with regarding to purchasing real estate in the three states of the peninsula de Yucatan, which is Quintana Roo, Yucatan, and Campeche. So let's start.
Awesome. Yes. So, we are going to give you guys some juicy information and knowledge because we do get a lot of questions about, how can we get a home? How can we purchase a home in Mexico? Like, what are the steps? So, we're going to kind of go through the steps here with you guys tonight. So, I think it's very important to understand that what you're no matter what you're looking for in a home, that the first step is that you want to determine your needs and your requirements, because everybody is different. So definitely really think about what would make you comfortable. Is it three bedrooms? Do you need three bathrooms? What are things that you absolutely cannot live without? Do you absolutely have to have a pool? Do you absolutely have to have like an oven? What are your actual needs that are going to make you happy? Because I think you don't want to be in a place and then down the line you're unhappy. I think you can agree with that too, Karina, because that's very important.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely the first step when purchasing a property, besides making the decision of making an investment or a big step like this, is to determine exactly what you need. You need to consider everything: location, size of the property, how many bedrooms you want, if you need amenities such as swimming pool, gated community, security, whatever amenities you may need, you have to consider it and define it before starting the house hunting. That's very, very important. And if you have the chance to write it down and to, I don't know, write it on a note in your phone, so you can have it accessible all the time, so you can be like completely sure about what you're looking for. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're not going to find what you're looking for. Because first step is to be completely sure about what you want. So
Absolutely.
besides location, sorry.
No, no, I was just saying absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. So this is the first time. So yeah, so it's very, very important to define all those things besides the regular things like size, location, amenities, area, surroundings, etc. It's very important to set if you have any special requirements such as wheelchair access, or let's say that you have the in-laws living with you and you need an extra bedroom on the ground floor. All those things have to be defined from the very, very beginning, because it's going to make the house hunting easier for both. I
Mm,
mean, for
yeah,
for buyer and for us as the realtors.
exactly. It's gonna make it so much easier on everybody because oh my gosh, those small details are so important. Because it's like you may start the home buying process and then forget, oh God, you know what? I totally forgot that to tell you I didn't want stairs or whatever. And then it just takes a little bit longer. So I agree with you on that, Karina. I'm like, I have to know exactly what I want before I move in. So y'all, if you are tuning in, that's definitely the first step when you are looking to buy a home. So the second I would have to say is define the time frames. So definitely let us know what is your time frame. You want to think about, especially a lot of my clients, well, all of them so far have been expats. So I think it's very important that you give a realistic time frame. I have had a couple of clients that they changed the date like about three times, but that
No.
was they didn't. Yeah, so it's like okay, they thought they were coming at a specific time, and then so I start to find them the homes, and then it's like oh no, I'm coming on this date. So it's like, okay, we waited closer to that date and then it changed again. But it was only because that person didn't think realistically about, the date that they would be here. So I think it's very important that you take time to do that because, no one wants to, and I don't mean to sound mean, but nobody wants to waste anybody's time. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to waste mine. I don't want to waste your time. And so it's just like, let us know when you think you'll be here and actually think about things like sometimes things like holidays and birthdays are big to a lot of the expats, and they'll be like, "Oh, I forgot, it's my grandmother's birthday coming up." So think about all of that and take your time and actually do it so that you're not like in a big hurry. And definitely prioritize everything as well. So if you know that you do have to put in, like, for example, 3 weeks notice at your job, make sure you factor in that as well. If you know you're still waiting on your passport, if it could take up to, for example, 60 days for you to receive the passport, then don't plan for like 30 days to come or 45 days. Just to be on the safe side, you would probably want to say 60 days. And whatever you have to add on to that, Karina.
Yeah, it's how do you say it? Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, we have also the ones that are starting with the search 2 years in advance, and it's also a little bit crazy because for
Yeah.
sure most of the properties they like or they want to visit are not going to be in the market anymore by the time they are ready for purchasing. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say how long or how much time you should have for starting with your search before being ready for purchasing. But I think I would say that about 3 months is good enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because yeah, the market is so dynamic, everything changes so fast and so easily. It can have a lot of, it can lead to a lot of disappointments if you start with the house hunting like with a lot of anticipation, and then the house of your dreams is no longer available in 2 years. So yeah, check your
Yeah.
time carefully.
Yeah, yeah, carefully. Yeah, and you don't want to. What I've learned from being here in Mexico as well is you don't want to take your time too much either if you are wanting to invest in a property at the price that it's at, because the prices can increase so quickly. So,
especially
huh?
especially in Merida.
Yeah, especially here because I'm just like, it's been blowing my mind at how quickly like the prices are increasing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, so I try to tell the clients, look, make sure that you go ahead and lock in this price because I can almost guarantee you that 3 months from now it's not going to be the same price. And that's not me trying to hurry up and like make you buy right now, but it's just the truth. It's just the reality of the situation. So I think that's very.
What I'd suggest about the timing or the time frame is if you have your long time dream about purchasing a property in this Caribbean paradise or in the Yucatán coast or in the safest city in Mexico, which is Merida, but you're going to have it to be ready for purchasing in 3 years when you're retired or something like that. My advice would be to start tracing the market so you can see what you're going to face when you're ready to move here, because the market here behaves so differently, and there's a common I wouldn't say mistake, but a common situation or misunderstanding amongst foreigner investors, that they believe the markets behave here the same way it behaves in their hometowns, and it's super different. I mean, even in the same state
Mm-hmm. Same
within
state.
the communities is very very different, the market. So there's a market in every market, and that's something that we have to consider. And if you have made a decision of purchasing a property in this area, it's super good that you start analyzing the market for, from the moment you decided to move here, so you can trace it and understand how it's behaving, find a lot of literature about it, do a lot of research, so you can start to understand the legal process and the behavior of the market cycles, everything you need to understand for being able to purchase a property here and making it in the smooth way.
Yeah, smooth as possible, as smooth as possible. Because it seems like when purchasing homes or purchasing properties, it's always like something that may come up out of the blue, or something may take a little bit longer than you think, or it's always sometimes it can be little bumps, but we want to do whatever we can to alleviate that and just make it as smooth as possible. So I 100% agree with you on that, like all day. So that's definitely some great points. So okay, you guys. So I think that the next thing that we want to talk about here is you definitely want to have a define a budget and a payment method. That's very, very important. I don't know. I may let you lead with this, Karina, because I've noticed that a lot of times with that, it's like I have people that say I want a home for this amount, but then I've seen they'll want something else. You know what I mean? And that's outside of their price range. So for example, they may want a home that's 80,000 US dollars, but then they want a beach, they want it to be on the beach, or they want it to be right downtown Merida or something like that. And it's like, come on, you guys, we have to be realistic at the same time. So I'll let you speak a little bit on that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a situation, and it's been very present, especially this year. So I don't know what kind of rumors are spreading out there, but I had some leads.
That's what it is.
It's crazy. We've
They
had
think
some
that
looking for beach.
they think that because Mexico's cost of living is less, they think that because the cost of living is less in Mexico, that all properties here are dirt cheap or something like that as well. That's just not the case. You're not
I
going to
wish.
beachfront property here for 20,000 US dollars. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's very important. I'm sorry, my light went out here. That's very important. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to say that real quick. Like, you got to be realistic, guys. Don't, yeah, I'll let you speak on that while I fix my light here.
Oh, there's no power there.
Yeah, yeah. I just had like my little LED light here for some extra lighting. But no, it's good. It went off there earlier, but it's back on now.
Oh, for all those watching this is not a common situation. We are a civilized country, so we do have electricity
Right.
working
Yeah.
properly. No,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
Going
just
back to the very important to define what the budget is going to be from the very beginning, and we have to support this budget according to the again to the behavior of the market, and of course it goes hand to hand with our financial situation, with our personal or familiar financial situation. So it is super super important to define the budget and to be super realistic. Unfortunately, here in Mexico we don't have a central MLS, so it's very hard to have a track on the
yeah.
market prices. So we have to be constantly asking. The information can only be obtained like one on one. We have to be asking appraisers. We have to be asking other realtors, neighbors, notaries, all the people involved in the market. So we have like first-hand information about how how much the market is paying for properties in certain area, because we cannot actually trace it properly since there's no MLS. There's a lot of misinformation out there because there's some portals that are free, for example, like Point to Homes, and we do advertise in Point to Homes. I think it's a great tool. But the situation is that since most of its features are for free, agents usually are not worried about keeping the properties updated. So if you go in the portal and try to find some or to do some research, probably you're going to find properties from 3 years ago that, yeah, they are 50K, 60K, 80K, whatever. But those
Oh,
are there.
okay.
So that's why I think that it's very, very important. And we're going to jump right directly to the next point, which is finding a real estate advisor. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I think that due to the misconception that the property here is, so cheap and all of that, it's like, well, who told you that? Like, who are you listening to? Was it a real estate advisor? Was it, an expert who actually has been studying the rates and the percentages in which the properties are increasing every quarter and things of that nature? So yeah, like you said, find a real estate advisor, and that's very important. That way, we can tell you if your expectations are actually realistic enough to be met. Because again, if you're wanting to spend, you have 20,000 USD, and you're wanting to buy a beachfront property, it's just probably here not going to happen. So, I think it's very, very important. Yeah. Um, can you hear me? I was freezing up there.
Yeah, I lost you for a second, but now you're back.
So yeah, yeah. So it's very important to have a local real estate agent as well. So Karina, I know that you've been doing real estate here for a while, and you've taught me quite a bit. So I think that someone like Karina, you guys, is very, very knowledgeable. I am learning from the best because she has helped me through a lot. Okay, like she's helped me through so much, and I see that a lot of the clients, they do love you. You know, all of our Canadian clients that I've met that have come down, you've been a big help to them. And the fact that Karina is in Playa, you guys, and I am here in Merida, it just goes to show you that we actually cover a range of states here for everyone. So we are the professionals here, and we can definitely help you with anything. That's why we'll be going live, hopefully every Thursday, so that we can help you guys with whatever you have. So yeah, we're the experts here. Karina, let them know. You let everybody know what we're the experts, right?
We are going to be here every Thursday. Yes, just for being for making sure which cities we're covering. I mean, Mexico is a super wide extension. Of course, it's not as big as Canada or the States, but it's much bigger than most of the countries in Europe. So
Yeah.
uh, the cities we have covered, I mean, the states we have covered are the three states compounding the peninsula de Yucatan, which are Campeche. Campeche is on the Gulf side. It's a beautiful state. I always have troubles with the state and the state situation. Excuse my Salma Hayekish English. So the other state we have is Yucatan, where Key is. We the most popular cities out there in Yucatan is Merida, of course, which is known for being the safest city in Mexico, and I think it's within the top five in the world
The
of
world, yeah, for sure.
super safe. It's so hot that nobody wants to go out and commit crimes. And
That
of course, the Yucatecan coast, which is being like super popular now, which is Progreso, Chicxulub, the place where the how do you call it, the meteorite crashed. Uh,
oh,
Chicxulub, Progreso, Telchac, Sisal, where all these flamingos are. Those
mhm.
are the places from the Yucatecan coast, and maybe, hopefully, we're going to have an episode related exclusively to the Yucatecan coast because it's amazing and still it's still kind of affordable. So, and on Quintana Roo, we have one, of course, which is like the most popular in the region, Riviera Maya, which is everything from Puerto Morelos to Tulum, going through Playa del Carmen and Acumal, which is my favorite, and
Yeah.
Costa Maya, which is more on the southern side, Mahahual and Bacalar. So if you're interested in any of those cities, we're
Yes.
here for
Yeah.
you.
We are here for you, and that's a lot, you guys. That's a big coverage area. So if you are thinking about moving to any of those locations, Karina and I, we got you. Okay, we got your back. You just holla at sis. Let us know what's up. Okay, we got you. So so those are the areas that we do cover. And now that you have decided to go ahead and take me or Karina on as your realtor, I think that the next thing that we have to do is go ahead and go house shopping. So basically, what we will do for you is you'll tell us the requirements, which we already know. We already know your time frame and all of that. So what we will do is begin to send you properties. That fit your budget, your requirements. From there, you will tell us which homes that you like, and then we will go ahead and set up appointments with the other listing realtors, and then we will go ahead from there and set up appointments to start showing you your home, which is the fun part. I don't know about you, Karina, but that's like the best part to me. I love just going and looking at all of the homes. So that's me. I love it.
I don't like very much the paperwork part, but we still have to do it. One thing I would like to add about going back a little bit in the find your real estate agent thing is that unlike any other countries, the seller don't have to pay us a commission, which I think is a big advantage. According to the service you may want from us, we may charge a fee from consultation or whatever.
Yeah.
But in general, for the whole process, for helping you find the perfect property for you, there's not going to be any commission for the buyer. It's only for the seller. So you're going to have the best advice for free.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really big advantage. So you guys definitely want to take advantage of that for sure. And why not own property here in Mexico? Own real estate internationally. I think that's what it's all about. So yes. So okay, you guys. So after you have found your dream home, the next step is for us to make an offer. So we're going to talk about making an offer because oh my gosh, this is a topic we really need to talk about when it comes to us as Americans, where I'm from in the US. When we go to make an offer, we like to negotiate back and forth. So let's say the property asking price is 100, let's say it's 150,000 US dollars. Okay, so what we're going to do as an American is probably offer them like 100, possibly, I don't know, it just depends, maybe 125,000. Okay. So then once the seller sees this, the seller is probably going to say, absolutely not. But they may say, how about 145? And then it'll come back to the buyer, and then the buyer will say, we won't do that, but we'll do 140. And then it's like, yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. And then it's like, okay, 140 it is. And there's no issue, there's no problem. However, you guys, I'm telling you right now, because I'm still learning this. When you come to Mexico, there is none of that.
Welcome to Mexico.
Not lowball your offer, because what's going to happen is a lot of times they're very attached to these properties for sentimental reasons or whatever other reasons. So they actually find it as an insult when you come back with an offer that's not your best offer. So they'll see, like, oh, so what you're trying to tell me is that my property is only worth this amount of money? Oh, hell no. And then they're going to say, absolutely not. And they're just going to decline your offer. It's not going to be any back and forth whatsoever. They will not do that here. So you need to make sure that you are presenting your best offer. We've come across clients who, and I just have to put this out there, but we have come across clients from other countries that act as if they're doing the people here in Mexico a favor by lowballing an offer or offering something that is not, that they know that is an unfair offer. And when you do that, it's very insulting, and it can come across as condescending. So what we need to do is make sure that we're actually presenting our best offer first. And that's what I learned from Karina. So I'll let you speak a little bit more on that, because girl, I had to learn that, and I was just like, serious? Like, they gonna just reject it? Nothing, no negotiations. But that's what it is. They would rather get nothing than to accept that offer as an insult.
Yeah, it's especially in certain areas like Merida, for example. I guess you've already learned a bit about the locals there. I mean, the people from Yucatan, the real Yucatecan people. Especially that people there is very
Yeah,
to their, I don't know how to say it in English, like habits or traditions.
tradition.
So yeah, here in the Riviera Maya, since very easily offended, and that we always have to find the softest way for saying
Oh,
things. We say it in Spanish that we're like jumping on branches for
right.
finding the softest spot. I
Yeah,
wouldn't consider myself in that, but I think that kind of says something. So I wouldn't recommend if 140 to offer for a property that's listed for 150, and that's going to be your best shot.
right.
Then of course it's always good to have like a little room for negotiating, but don't send it super low because it's going to be rejected with no counter offer, and then your dream home is going to be away because Mexicans are going to be offended and no, I don't want to know anything about you anymore.
Yeah,
So if there
it's so true.
okay, then go and offer 138, let's say something, no? Just giving some room for negotiation, which is like not super bad, etc. No, of course, get advice from your realtor of how much you could be offering for having like a real chance for getting the property and make an offer. So I think the negotiations here are a bit easier because we're not going to be back and forward or back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's going to go both.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and the thing, sorry, about the offers is they have, I mean, it's not like an obligation or something that's written in the legislation that they have to be signed and with an ID or whatever. But the more formal things are, the less chances for having someone withdrawing at the very last minute are going to be, no? So make a written offer. If you're working with a real estate agent, the agent is going to help you writing directly. As a foreigner, if your primary language is not Spanish, we are used to having bilingual documents, so you can understand perfectly what you are signing. On the other side, we have to understand that since Spanish is the legal language, so everything has to be signed in Spanish, but it can be accompanied by a translation in English for your complete understanding. So yeah, be sure to make everything formal and sign it and attach your ID, and that's going to be a proof of your genuine interest in the property.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, yes. So that was the next step, you guys. Making an offer. Make sure you submit a really great offer. You want to do that up front. So the next step in the home buying process. Now that we've made an offer, let's just say they accepted your offer. So yay, we're gonna celebrate a little bit. And the next thing you want to do is conduct your due diligence. So basically, we have to make sure that we know all the details of the property because we don't just want to buy a home and then the next day the roof caves in, or you know what I mean. Like we want to make sure that we also have everything properly organized as far as I guess the documents and things are concerned. I'll let you speak a little bit more on that, Karina.
Sure thing. Here in Mexico, we have something called the public registration of the property, which translated in Spanish would be Registro Público de la Propiedad y del Comercio del Estado, which is the institution where every single transaction, commercial transaction done with real estate is going to be registered. So besides the signing of the signature of the notario, we are going to need the registration in this institution for having the transaction completed. The good thing of this institution is that the information there is public. As long as you have the minimum required information for tracing a title, you will be able to find if the property belongs to the person who says is the owner, and if it doesn't have any lien. Lien. I don't know how to pronounce that. Like
Lean, yes.
lien. Thank you. So you can check that in the publication of the property. And in Yucatan is that you can do this consultation online. So the name of this institution is called INSEJUPI. We can leave it in the comments when we are done. So you can investigate a little bit about that, and you can always find certain and basic legal information of the property you're interested on. This leads us to the attorney situation. No, a lot of clients ask us constantly if an attorney hiring an attorney is mandatory for doing a real estate transaction here in Mexico. It is not mandatory. You can proceed without an attorney, but it is recommendable, especially because of the fideicomiso situation. Because although it's not complicated, it's a lot of paperwork, and I think we're going to talk about that in another episode because it's a super extended extensive information. But hiring an attorney is always good and helpful. Well, not always. Sometimes they make it slower. And yeah, that's all. You have to be like super sure about the legal status of the property you are interested on before putting any money down. You can there according to the requirements of the seller, especially if it's a high demand property, you can block or reserve the property with a minimum amount. Let's say 20,000 pesos, 50,000 pesos. maybe 100,000 pesos if it's a super expensive. And that is going to buy you some time for you to conduct the due diligence properly and to be 100% sure that everything is like in good shape. No, it's better in the worst scenario possible. Let's say it's better to lose those 50, those 20, 50, 100,000 pesos than losing a 20 or 30% down payment because not having done the due diligence properly. So it's be sure to do this, to investigate the property before putting any money down, unless you need to put a for getting documents, getting it, and then it's going to buy you a
Absolutely.
lot of peace of mind.
Yes. I completely agree with you on that. So yeah, that was some good information. That's definitely an important part. The due diligence is one part we definitely don't want to skip over in the home buying process. And nor do we want to skip over which is next, our promissory agreement. To me, I would say this is the equivalent in the U.S. as like just basically your contract agreement. So for anyone who's purchased homes in the U.S., you guys know you have to sign page after page after page, like just the documents that you have to sign. To me, this is what the equivalent of that is. But it's basically it's going to be a document, a legal document is going to outline the importance of the purchase, including the condition, payment terms, deadlines, and anything else that we may have agreed upon. So you want to make sure that you carefully review this agreement. If anything was left out before you sign anything, you don't want to lock yourself in without reading it, making sure everything is correct, and signing once you know. And if you have any questions, make sure that you're asking questions about it as well. This is also the time where the down payment is given as well, right, Karina?
Yeah, that's
At the
right.
time of the signature. Okay.
Usually, it's said an amount of days after having both of the parties sign. Let's say it can be 2, 3, 5 days for giving them some chance for going to the bank or doing whatever tramit they need before sending the money. But yes, in this stage of the process is where the money has to be put down.
Okay, absolutely. So, so yeah, so you guys, this right here is a very important step. So we'll just make sure we're going over it with you because it's not like you're alone. That's what we're for. That's what Karina and I are for. We're gonna make sure that we're with you every step of the way during this process. Okay. All right. So you guys bear with me here. So the next step in the process is we're going to be preparing the documents. It's the document preparation. But even though that sounds like real tedious, you have to remember that that's what like we are for. So we're going to make sure that we're doing everything for you along with the attorney. We'll be working like alongside the attorney. And this is basically it involves getting all the necessary documents ready for the transfer of ownership because you do know that the property has to go from one owner to the next. So that's where the document preparation is. It's all of that good stuff. Is there anything else important in this step that you wanted to add, Karina?
It's just about being in touch with all the parties. I mean, if you have an attorney and an agent, just be in touch with them. They are going to be your team, and they are going to be on your side. So they are going to be the ones in charge of informing you how the process is going, how long it's going to take, if it's going to be any delay, which is something that can happen. Don't freak out. Delays may happen, and it doesn't mean necessarily that there's something wrong. So
Yeah.
super in touch, and yeah, I think that's all. We're ready to go for the.
Well, can you kind of let people know about how long this whole process takes? By the time from the time they've like kind of chosen their home to the time of where we are right now. About how long does this process take? Because in the U.S., when we go to buy a home, at the time we signing our documents and everything, we're getting the home that same day or pretty quickly. So here I've learned that the process takes a bit longer. So if you can like kind of let people know just an expected time frame, you guys, of course this can vary.
Sure. Um, let's say that from the moment that your offer has been accepted and the promissory agreement has been signed, it's going to take between 6 and 8 weeks to get the title ready for signing. The delivery of the property will depend on several factors, like if you're purchasing a property directly from the developer, if it's a resale, like a lot of factors that are going to influence on the delivery date. If it's a regular resale, the delivery can be the same day, but in most cases, for sales directly from developers, or oh my god, my English is getting broken. New homes,
Great.
they're going to ask you for a couple of weeks for getting the house ready, because the car or the ACs or things like that they may include in the property are going to be installed once the property has been signed and paid. So they are usually taking between 2 and 4 weeks for delivering the property when it's new property. So, as in the nutshell, from
Yes.
the very beginning of the signing of the promissory agreement to the signing of the definitive contract or your title, it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks, plus the delivery time that might be same day or in a month, something like that. Or in case it's a pre-sale, then we're going to talk about that later, because it can be 3 years or something like that, no? But if it's something that's ready for delivery, that's more or less how it's going to be. So yes, you need to be super patient, because the fideicomiso situation takes a while, and the other thing is that the drafting of the contract takes another while. So patience is going to be
Yeah.
your best in this situation.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Like, when you come over here, you're gonna have to be extra patient and actually recognize about how long it's gonna take. So, don't think you're gonna move in, within the next like 4 weeks. That's more than likely not gonna happen. You're gonna have to figure out whatever your living arrangement or situation is gonna be if you're coming and you're gonna be living here until that time. Or we do have a lot of people who feel like they want to go ahead and make the purchase while they're still in another country, while we handle everything, because we really will need your presence towards the end. Um, so you don't necessarily have to be here. Like, a lot of the documents can be signed, via email. Of course, we would prefer you to be here, but if we have to send you a DocuSign or something, we can, until it comes time for where we actually need you here. So just know that you'll have to prepare for that. And this is not a quick process. It's that was something I think that was different for me as well, Karina. I was like, it's gonna take about, okay. So that's good to know, though. It's really good to know, because we have different expectations coming from different countries, or just coming from different places in general. So, okay, thank you so much for that tidbit. I just had to get that out there, because people never really know the actual time frame. So, okay, you guys. So the next and pretty much the final step to the home buying process is going to be the closing and the transfer of ownership. Like, y'all been waiting for, right? So
What's happening?
it's here. We're ready. So that's what's next. It's the moment we've been waiting for. Is closing day on this exciting day. Basically, we're gonna get with the seller. We're gonna get with the real estate advisor, the notary. We're gonna finalize everything. We're gonna go back through the paperwork, make sure that everything looks good through all of the actual official documentation. And then I think that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to that, right, Karina? So we can go ahead and move on in. So
When
yeah.
it's signed, it's yours.
Yeah, it's signed. It's signed. It's actually yours. You've got that transfer of ownership now. So it's just like in the U.S. If you have a title or whatever the case may be, and you can go ahead and you can move on into your new home. And that's an exciting time. I love to help my clients actually get their home. Like, that's the best feeling in the world to me, is when they're actually moving into their new home and they're just smiling and they're so happy. And it's just, I don't know. I love it. This is why I do this, because I like to see people happy with the smiles and all of that. I will say that I had someone who asked me to address a question on here, and their question was about the different insurances. I will say that that's another difference, which I think we'll we'll talk about that in like another episode. But when it comes to flood insurance and different insurances like that, those are not necessarily required here. So you will actually be saving a lot of money when it comes to that. But we'll dive deeper into that on our next episodes on what are like the bigger differences, because a lot of the things that are just required no matter what when it comes like to like the insurances and stuff is just not, it's just not required here, or it may not even be available here. But that's for different reasons. You do have to think about that the homes and the structures here are built completely different, and they're completely different than they are in the States. So a lot of the things here, like for just a quick example, so in the US, if your roof is leaking, that's a big deal because it costs a lot of money to get it fixed. You have to go through quite a bit to get your roof fixed, and you're coming out of pocket some money. Here, I'm realizing it's not that big of a deal if you have a leaky roof. Like they come and fix it really quickly, and it doesn't cost that much money. Like it's just not a big deal. It's, you know what I'm saying. So we have to realize that the structures here are a little bit different, which we can also get into maybe in another well. But I think that that's it. If you guys have any questions in the chat, definitely let us know. We can take maybe a couple of questions. But we hope that this has been very informative. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah,
You read in the comments.
yeah, in the comments. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank
So
you. We're
also,
something
oh, go,
very key.
huh?
We're forgetting to talk about something really, really important in this situation. It's like the most important stage in the whole process, and we've skipped it. And yeah, something that it's a big, big mistake amongst the buyers is not inviting the realtor to the housewarming party. Why? What's wrong with? So
We
he,
like to party,
yes,
like right, like we like food too. We want to come to the housewarming party. Like we like barbecue. We want to eat out. You know what I'm saying? Like we like to have home cooked food.
we
Like
have like super good bad jokes. So that
that.
so yes, yes,
Right, yeah,
invite us.
we're Karina and I are ready. Like we ready to go. We're down. So make sure you invite us. And we would love to actually, with my clients, we end up actually being family. I see my clients as family, not just like a client, so I really love to connect with my clients. So if you guys want to check out um houseby.mexico, which is houseby.mx. Go on there. Karina has, oh my gosh, she has like a plethora of just information on the process of living here and what to expect and some of everything else. So definitely check her out, and make sure that if you're not subscribed to her channel, that you do that as well. And she can also, the House by website, if you were to just look that up on any other social media platforms, make sure you follow her. She's on Facebook, TikTok, and what's the other one? Instagram. And as far
Yep.
as, huh?
Every single platform.
She's on every single platform. So yeah, she posts some really good knowledge and information. And then so for me, if you wanted to contact me for anything, you guys, I am Quarters by Kiafa. Quarters like the coin, by Kiafa. And you can find me on that name on Instagram, and on Facebook. And then on TikTok, I think I'll have to tag my TikTok below.
It's Kiafa, no? No, Key.
It's Key. Yeah, I think it's Key. And then here I'm Kiafa. So yeah, and I'm on Instagram Quarters by. I'm on all of them as well. So you can find me. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think that's it. And we will be back next week, you guys, same time. So let us know if you have any suggestions. Just put it in the comment box.
Also, another thing that I would like to add is that if you're considering on relocating, Kiafa is an expert in relocation. So besides being an international buyer's representative, she's going to help you out with everything you need to know about relocating yourself and your family in Merida and surroundings. No,
Yes.
so be sure to contact her because she's going to put you in the right place.
Yes, for sure. For sure. You can inbox me on any social media platform, and I'm pretty quick about responding back, you guys. So,
And it's the most patient person in the world because she has patience with me. So if someone can have patience with me, then
listen,
it's about being a saint.
that's, I work on my patience. Karina's a sweetheart, though. So, but I I'm in the patience game over here, so you can count on it. Like I got you.
Yes, that's right.
I'm here, right? So, all
So
right.
thank you, Pete. Thank you again.
Thank you. Yes, no problem. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.
Same place, same time, no?
Yes, absolutely. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and hasta la vista.
Peace.
Bye. Now I don't know how to cut this.
Uh-oh. Have
Okay,
the
we're going to stay here until the bat is over.
I don't
Okay,
I couldn't tell you.
let's see. Bye bye. Yes,
Funny.